Kenya kicks out Somalia's ambassador. Both Kenya and Somalia are claiming ownership over a certain potentially rich area within the Indian Ocean. This has recently generated a lot of unprecedented heat. What happened? On 16 February 2019, the government of Kenya, through a press statement by Principal Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Macharia Kamau, communicated that Kenya had summoned her ambassador to Somalia for urgent consultations. The PS also indicated that Kenya had also sent back home Somalia's ambassador to Kenya to consult with their government as well. According to the PS, the summons arose from a decision by the government of Somalia to auction off oil and gas blocks in Kenya's maritime territorial area that borders Somalia.
Kenya summons its ambassador to the Federal Republic of Somalia and instructs the ambassador of Somalia to Kenya to depart to Somalia for consultations. Summons is a consequence of a most regretful and egregious decision by the government of Somalia to auction off oil and gas blocks in Kenya's maritime territorial area that borders Somalia.
In addition to the press statement by Ambassador Kamau, there has been several correspondence under the name of both countries flying around. Some of the correspondence have been acknowledged and others disowned by the alleged issuing authorities. This press statement, together with the rest of the acknowledged and disowned correspondence, have elicited a web of reactions domestically within Kenya and Somalia, as well as internationally. From citizens, political leaders and scholars, the media, both mainstream and social, has been abuzz with debates regarding this issue. Our observation is that if the current state of discourse is anything to go by, some core issues may be lost in the ocean of emotions that this debate has generated. Therefore, at Utafiti Hub, we set out to give a brief background on this matter and assist in highlighting some facts about the current scenario. This is why we are dedicating this video to discuss this topic. Hello, I'm Joki Moshe, and welcome to Utafiti Hub. We start by noting that as at the date of this video, the maritime boundary dispute between Kenya and Somalia before the International Court of Justice is still ongoing. Due to the ongoing status, we shall therefore be limited in our comments so as not to offend the principle of sub judice. We address this topic by looking at three main questions. One, how did the claims reach this point? On 28 August 2014, Somalia filed a case against Kenya before the International Court of Justice. This is what you will hear being referred to as the ICJ. The case relates to a dispute between the two countries over a potentially lucrative triangular stretch of the Indian Ocean believed to contain large oil and gas deposits. On one hand, Somalia wants the court to draw the maritime boundary and to define the exact geographical coordinates as an extension of her southeastern land borders. On the other hand, Kenya wants the border to run in parallel along the line of latitude on its eastern border. It is important to note that security reasons have been cited as important considerations as well. Naturally, of course, both sides have their reasons to believe that the case should be decided in their favor. You can see these justifications from the documents filed by each on the link to the ICJ website below. In a 2009 MOU between the two countries, the boundaries were agreed. These were as currently claimed by Kenya.
Kenya and Somalia had not quite agreed on which line to take. Is it going to take a straight line from our boundary that will follow the latitude? Or was it going to be defined in a manner that the states will agree? So we engaged in a discussion with Somalia, with the foreign minister then, and after we finished the usual technical support work by the PS and his team, I did sign an agreement on behalf of our country, and I'm quite happy that I did, because it was the right thing to do, to define our boundary as being latitudinal straight line from the V junction where Somalia meets Kenya straight into the sea for 450 nautical miles.
However, Somalia later denounced the MOU, indicating the basis that the minister who signed the MOU on behalf of Somalia government had no authority to do so. There have been over the years bilateral negotiations and diplomatic exchanges between the two countries, unsuccessfully so. 2. What is the current status of this case? The substantive part of the case is pending. The only decision that the court has made so far is that it has jurisdiction, meaning the power to hear and decide the matter. 3. What is the effect of the reported decision by the government of Somalia to auction off oil and gas blocks in Kenya's maritime territorial area that borders Somalia? It has caused a great strain on the Somalia-Kenya relationship. Also, what are the effects of the summons by Kenya of her ambassador to Somalia, as well as sending back Somalia's ambassador to Kenya? Many. In particular, Kenya has unequivocally communicated her protest over Somalia's mode adopted at the auction. What happens going forward? If Kenya is properly guided, she may want to consider deliberately adjusting her approach to boundary disputes. So what suggestions does Utafiti have or offer on the way forward? The scenario discussed in this video should never happen again. We acknowledge that it may be difficult for many to stay objective due to interests and loyalties. Nevertheless, there is a great need for both countries and their well-meaning partners to handle this matter with caution and in line with international law and principles. Caution is necessary to avoid irreparable prejudice being caused to the area under dispute, as well as to Kenya-Somalia relationship and international relation dynamics going forward. In our view, it is also in the best interest of both Kenya and Somalia, as well as their neighbors, if regional cohesion, peace and stability is upheld. Let us play our respective parts. Let us watch against external predatory influence. Thank you for watching. We look forward to receiving your comments and contributions on the comment section below. Feel free to let us know if there is any topic that you would like for us to discuss. Also remember to subscribe to Utafiti Hub. Utafiti Hub, capacity through many lenses.